Kieran Review, print speaking to the blind, celebrating 40 years of audio newspaper production. Welcome to this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast, recorded at the Bishopbriggs Media Centre by our amazing volunteers. You can get in touch with us via Facebook, Twitter or Instagram using @KieranReview. That is @ CUEANDREVIEW. You can also contact us directly by emailing information at tunereview.com. That is INFORMATION @CUEANDREVIEW.com, or by calling 0141 772 3976. That's 0141 772 3976.
This week's podcast, published on Wednesday the 4th of October 2023, is read to you by Alan, Hunter, Ian and Rebecca. New Look M&S store is open. Improvements part of wider £500 million plans for stores UK-wide. Back open for business. The New Look M&S Bishopbriggs opened its doors last week, following a revamp that saw the removal of its much-loved cafe. The store renovation comes as part of the M&S recent announcement to invest around £500 million in its stores nationwide, creating over 3,400 new jobs. We told you in May how an online petition against the Bishopbriggs improvement proposals had amassed over 700 signatures. It was started with the aim of saving the M&S Cafe, which many called a social hub important to the elderly in the area. However, the improvement works have largely been welcomed, and staff at the store are eager to see what the local community make of its facelift. Store manager Daniel Grime told the Herald, "Our whole team has been working really hard to deliver this fantastic new look, and it's been great to hear positive feedback from customers as they visit. The new bakery looks to be a firm favourite. When you visit in the store, you'll find a new spacious design across our food hall with great features like our new M&S wine shop and our digital click and collect service, which are all designed to make shopping with us more enjoyable and more convenient than ever. The newly improved store features a better, fresher food hall and has a new fresh market feel. Improvements of note include the new bakery, offering freshly baked bread and pastries throughout the day, as well as the dedicated wine shop. In addition, there are new digital click and collect points, increased self-service tills, and an expanded frozen section, all which, M&S say, makes the shopping experience more convenient for local families. As part of the opening ceremony last Monday, guests of honour Percy Pig and Colin the Caterpillar cut the ribbon to declare the store officially open. Local rock choir, Soul Nation, performed throughout the day, with long-serving colleague Kathleen Weir, who has been with the store for 42 years, cutting the ribbon on the day to mark the occasion. This Week in History, read by me, Ian. October the 5th, 1796. Spain declared war on Britain by signing the Treaty of San Ildefonso, aligning with revolutionary France. On this day last year, a statue of black British playwright Alfred Fagon was among the memorials given Grade 2 listed status during Black History Month. October 6th, 1820. Jenny Lind, soprano known as the Swedish Nightingale, was born in Stockholm. On this day last year, air pollution particles can reach babies in the womb, a new study suggested. October 7th, 1959. Lunik 3 took the first pictures of the far side of the moon. On this day last year, the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to jailed Belarus human rights activist Ales Bialyatsky, the Russian group Memorial, and the Ukrainian organisation Centre for Civil Liberties. October the 8th, 1967. The first breathalyser test in Britain was administered to a motorist in Somerset. On this day last year, Rail passengers experienced travel chaos as only around 20% of normal train services were running due to another strike by union members. October 9th, 1804, Hobart, Tasmania was founded. On this day last year, Max Verstappen won Japanese Grand Prix, taking the 2022 Formula 1 World Championship.
Tackling the stigmas. A nationwide programme is looking for local volunteers to make real changes to people's lives by tackling mental health stigma and discrimination in East Dunbartonshire. Although nearly 80% of Scots say their attitude towards mental health has got better in the last 2 decades, about 30% of people said they would stop themselves from speaking about their mental health, all for the fear of getting a negative reaction. See Me, Scotland's national programme to end mental health stigma and discrimination, is searching for new volunteers from across the country with different experiences and backgrounds to play a part in the next phase of the programme's work. Poet Angela McCrimmon has been volunteering with See Me since 2016 and said it's a privilege to be part of the programme, reflecting on how volunteering has given her the opportunity to give others who struggle with their mental health a voice. She added, "I've struggled with my mental health since I was 19 when I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, so I've been in the mental health system for almost 30 years. So often in that time I've been shut down by psychiatrists and mental health workers. I remember once phoning the crisis team for help, trying to tell them how I felt and being told, well, you're awfully articulate for someone who claims to be unwell." Stigma and discrimination are a big problem in our healthcare system. I remember being sectioned once and thinking, if I come back from this, I'm coming back fighting, which is some of the reasons why I got involved with See Me. I've been involved in so many amazing opportunities with See Me. I've spoken to the Legal Aid Board about my experiences, I've read a poem at the Scottish Parliament, spoken at conferences, and I've shared my story on the media. Being with See Me has given me more confidence to speak up, and that drive to be the force for people who haven't found theirs yet. It's amazing to be part of that movement. For more details on how to apply and more information, please visit seemescotland.org. The deadline for submitting applications is October the 20th at 5 p.m.
Pricing review is recorded by Hunter MacDonald. The Scottish Government is to consult on raising the minimum unit price of alcohol to 65 pence. Legislation introduced in 2018 for a 50 pence MUP will expire in April 2024. It comes as university research suggested the policy had become less effective because of inflation, with findings showing the original 50 pence price now equivalent to 41 pence. The report also showed heavier drinkers increased their alcohol consumption during the pandemic, further cancelling out some of the beneficial impacts. Detractors say increasing the MUP to 65 pence would only hit responsible drinkers during a cost of living crisis. The impact and value of MUP was also questioned recently after Scotland's drink deaths rate showed an increase. Alcohol Focus Scotland said the Scottish Parliament needed to renew and reinvigorate MUP. Volunteers are central to efforts. Volunteers with experience of mental health problems play a central role in See Me. Whether speaking at events, sharing their stories in the media, influencing government policy, helping to design resources, running events and encouraging other people in their communities to join the movement to end mental health stigma and discrimination. Wendy Halliday, Director for See Me, told us, "The work See Me undertakes is all driven by a social movement of people across Scotland who are determined to end mental health stigma and discrimination, and our volunteers are central to this. It's really important that our volunteers are representative of different communities and experiences to reflect the diverse experience of people with mental health problems in Scotland. Our Scottish mental illness stigma study showed us that people with experience of severe, enduring and complex mental illnesses across Scotland are withdrawing from opportunities which many of us take for granted, all because of stigma and discrimination. Our volunteers help us to tackle this major barrier. We're really looking forward to seeing what our new volunteers will bring to the programme. More details about becoming a volunteer, as well as the services offered by the charity, can be found online at c-mescotland.org. Programme will open many doors. Local MSP Rona Mackay says the announcement of a new Scottish Education Exchange programme by the First Minister will open countless doors for young people across East Dunbartonshire. The SNP Scottish Government is to launch the new programme to prioritise placements for disadvantaged young people following an initial test and learn project this year. Principal of the University of Glasgow, Professor Sir Anton Muscatelli, welcomed the announcement, saying the return could be immense for young people across Scotland. MSP for Strathkelvin and Bearsden, Rona, said the new Education Exchange programme will transform the life experience and open doors for young people across my constituency. The First Minister's ambition for young people in Scotland is clear, and the Scottish Government is committed to ensuring all youngsters, regardless of their background, have equal opportunities to learn and thrive. Programmes like this not only enrich the lives of young people by offering them a chance to study abroad and broaden their horizons, they also improve local communities. In the face of a Tory government at Westminster which continues to deny young people participation in Erasmus Plus, and a Labour Party which refuses to even acknowledge the damage caused by Brexit, the SNP is determined to support the youngest in our society. I am thrilled to see further investment in young people. MSP hails free trips. Free bus travel for everyone under 22 has opened up our community and our country for young people in East Dunbartonshire, says Ross Greer, the Scottish Green MSP for the West of Scotland. Since the Scottish Green scheme was launched in January 2022, 12,499 young people in East Dunbartonshire have taken 1,111,482 free journeys. In total, 63.5% of all eligible young people in East Dunbartonshire have received the free bus pass, which allows them to travel anywhere in Scotland. Ross Greer, East Dunbartonshire Scottish Green MSP, said, I am delighted that so many young people in East Dunbartonshire now have their free bus pass. This scheme is opening up our community and our country while helping families through the cost of living crisis. I am really proud that we have delivered it. Celebrating 10 years of FACT. A group supporting families in Auchinairn clocked up a decade of service recently, and Strathkelvin and Bearsden MSP Rona Mackay was delighted to attend the 10th anniversary celebrations of Families of Auchinairn Coming Together, FACT. A piper greeted guests to the event at Auchinairn Community Centre, and singer and guitarist Kieran the Chanter performed as guests tucked into a delicious tea. Rona praised the work of FACT, which is set up in 2013 by local mum Gillian Kelly, and has flourished since then, supporting dozens of local families. The SNP MSP said, Gillian and her team provide a lifeline for families, making the community stronger.
Events for Festival 23. Events have been announced for the 2023 Thomas Muir Festival, the annual celebration of the man hailed as Scotland's father of democracy. As well as Muir, this year the Central Symposium will reflect on the life and times of campaigner and activist John McLean, marking the 100th anniversary of his passing. John McLean, 24th of August 1879 to 30th of November 1923, was a Scottish schoolteacher and socialist of the Red Clydeside era. In April 1918, he was arrested for sedition. Thomas Muir is recognised as the father of Scottish democracy. He was tried for sedition in 1793 and banished for his work to champion reform, freedom of speech and voting rights for all. His strong links to East Dunbartonshire are marked every year by the Friends of Thomas Muir, who organise a festival in his memory. Organisers take inspiration from the democratic timeline that links Muir to local and world history. Now in its 13th year, the Thomas Muir Festival will offer a range of events including Wednesday, October the 4th, Thomas Muir Symposium 2023. Douglas Academy in Milngavie will host this year's annual symposium. This year's speakers are Professor Gerard Carruthers, Thomas Muir and John McLean in Poetry and Song, Professor Lindsay Farmer, The Trials of Thomas Muir 1793 and John McLean 1918, Sedition in Scots Law, and Dr. Corey Gibson, Rebel Cayleys, Cultural Afterlives of John McLean. There will also be contributions from Douglas Academy pupils, including musical performances. Provost Gillian Renwick and East Dunbartonshire Council Leader Gordon Lowe will be among those in attendance. November 18th to February 29th, 2024, East Dunbartonshire School's Art Exhibition. The exhibition will be held once again at the Thomas Muir Coffee Shop, Hunters Hill Village. From over 2,000 artworks submitted by schools from across the authority area, 25 are selected and professionally framed to go on display at the Thomas Muir Coffee Shop. November the 28th to 30th, Scottish Parliament Exhibition. An opportunity to share with MSPs the incredible story of Thomas Muir of Hunters Hill. For more information and to book tickets, visit www.thomasmuir.co.uk.
Show Racism the Red Card. On Thursday, September the 28th, West Scotland Labour MSP Neil Bibby hosted a photo call and subsequent drop-in for MSPs to show support for anti-racism initiative Show Racism the Red Card. The First Minister, Cabinet Secretaries, opposition party leaders and Presiding Officer Alison Johnson joined MSPs of all parties to show their support for stamping out racism in football. Speaking after the event, Mr Bibby said he was very pleased to host Show Racism the Red Card in the Scottish Parliament this week ahead of Wear Red Day on October the 20th. I would like to express huge thanks to still game actor Sanjeev Kohli and sports journalist Peter Martin for joining us. There have been huge strides in stamping out racism in football, but there is still much more work to do. Show Racism the Red Card does hugely important work, and MSPs from all parties have agreed that racist abuse has no place in our national game.
Provost's first winners. Provost Gillian Renwick has announced the winners of the 6 categories of her inaugural Community Champions Awards. Following an intense judging session, the Provost and Deputy Provost agreed the 2023 award recipients. Provost Renwick said, "We had the privilege of reading about some amazing people from right across East Dunbartonshire, so firstly a huge thank you to all those who took the time and effort to nominate. We have some fantastic inspirational individuals, all of all ages in our communities, and it really was a pleasure to read about the wonderful contributions, positive impact and real difference that everyone who was nominated has made to those around them." Selecting the winners from such worthy nominations was difficult. In our Young Champions category, there were 2 young people who stood out amongst the range of wonderful submissions we received, and we felt it appropriate to recognise them both. The winners in the 6 categories were Community Champion Lorraine MacDonald, Young Champions Ruby Hannon and Sarah Aitken, Caring Champion Mary Green, Sports Champion Barbara Knox, Arts and Heritage Champion Paul Bishop, posthumous, and Sustainability Champion Amanda Stark. The Provost added, "The Deputy Provost and I now have the privilege of meeting each of our 2023 winners and presenting them with their awards. We will promote all our amazing winners in the coming weeks."
Hoax 999 calls soar. Malicious 999 calls that put the lives of others at risk have soared in the first 8 months of the year. The Scottish Ambulance Service, SAS, confirmed it had received more than 200 hoax calls so far this year, with emergency bosses saying that the time wasting is no joke. Between January and August this year, a total of 290 malicious calls were received. That's compared to 191 over the whole of 2022. SAS Chief Executive Michael Dixon said, "Hoax calls are no joke. Anyone who calls 999 without a genuine need is putting lives at risk by diverting crews that could be needed to respond to a life-threatening incident. We work with the police to report malicious or nuisance callers and encourage the public to help us." In 2021, there were 220 for the entire year, and, since 2017, there have been 2,620 hoax calls. This year's malicious calls resulted in 236 vehicles being allocated, with crews spending 130 hours at these calls, an average of 33 minutes for each call. In one of the calls, a person claimed they had been stabbed, only for the crew to arrive and find no sign of any patient. Earlier this year, a woman was also fined £210 for making hoax calls to SAS after calling ambulances when she did not require them. In Lanarkshire, there were 22 malicious calls so far this year, up in 2022. That resulted in 13 hours wasted, with an average 37 minutes, 11 seconds spent dealing with each call. The Greater Glasgow and Clyde area experienced the highest number of hoax calls, 87, responsible for almost 40% of calls and 40 hours lost that are needed to respond to the public in need. The Lothian region had the second highest number of calls at 37 and 24 hours wasted. The Scottish Government said inappropriate, malicious or nuisance callers will be reported to the police. At the start of the year, they announced an additional £45 million had been allocated to the ambulance service for 2023 to help with staffing. A spokesman said, "We strongly condemn hoax or malicious calls to our emergency services."
Emergency action is needed. Katie Clark, MSP, has slammed the Scottish Government's failed housing strategy after it emerged 120 households with children across East Dunbartonshire are stuck in temporary accommodation. Of these, 80 have been left without a permanent home for 1 to 2 years, 25 waited between 2 and 3 years, and 15 between 3 and 4 years. The Scottish Labour representative said, "It is appalling that homelessness continues to blight communities in this day and age. It is particularly devastating to know that there are families spending over 1,000 days waiting for a home here in East Dunbartonshire. Children deserve the best start in life, yet so many are being left in limbo." Despite this, the Scottish Government continues to cut local government budgets, and its support for delivery of new social housing does not remotely reach the scale required. The SNP must step up, take action and deliver an emergency social housing strategy.
It's now plastic free. Barbara backs the new poppy. Our iconic 4-petalled poppies were lifted from Lady Haig's poppy factory last Thursday for distribution across Scotland. Singer and 2-time Olivier Award-winning actress Barbara Dixon has urged Scott to get behind Poppy Scotland's groundbreaking new plastic-free poppy. On a visit to the factory in Edinburgh, where the Scottish poppy is made, Barbara described the poppy's evolution as one that touches the heart of the nation. She said, "It is wonderful to support Poppy Scotland as it makes this necessary transition to a plastic-free poppy. The work that the charity does, every single day of the year, to support the armed forces community here in Scotland is so important. Poppy Scotland ensures that Scotland remembers the sacrifices that were made by courageous Scots across the world and is there to support anyone that has served in both the 20th and 21st century. The evolution to a plastic-free poppy is one that is smart, one that touches the heart of our nation, and it shows that, whilst Poppy Scotland's heritage is important, it remains in tune with societal consciousness. I urge everyone to get behind Poppy Scotland, to donate in return for a beautiful new environmentally friendly 4-petaled Scottish poppy, and proudly wear them in memory and respect to every man and woman in Scotland that has served us so graciously. Traditionally, Poppy Scotland's poppy has been a composite design of various pieces of plastics. Thanks to significant investment in scientific research, in partnership with experts at University College London and the Royal British Legion, Poppy Scotland is, this year, distributing around 400,000 plastic-free poppies, allowing for an environmentally friendly symbol of remembrance to be worn by those that wish to demonstrate their respect and gratitude to our nation's armed forces. The new plastic-free poppy has reduced the charity's production-related carbon emissions by 40% and removed 30 million pieces of single-use plastic from the environment. Poppy Scotland has also reduced the use of plastic by 9% in its wreaths and, in the coming years, will transition to the removal of all plastics. Gordon Meeke, Head of Fundraising, said, "This evolution of the Scottish poppy is the most significant in our history. The previous design has been in use for the last 27 years, with small changes made in 2018 to commemorate the centenary of the end of the Great War and, in 2021, to mark 100 years of the poppy appeal. We have retained the shape and colours of our poppy and its heritage and purpose has not changed. It remains a symbol of reflection, hope and gratitude. Importantly, it remains embedded in the fabric of Scottish society. But it is now modern, it is socially responsible, and we are proud that we have managed to adapt our design to massively reduce our carbon emissions." Forces support. Poppy Scotland provides life-changing support to the armed forces community. Money raised from the Scottish Poppy Appeal and Poppy Scotland's year-round fundraising enables the charity to deliver support to members of the armed forces, past and present, providing tailored funding and assistance. The charity also funds services in advice, employment, housing, mental health, mobility and respite. For more information, please visit www.poppyscotland.org.uk. And to donate to this year's Poppy campaign, visit www.poppyscotland.org.uk/get-involved/ways-to-give.
WhatsApp and SMS service for domestic abuse. Scotland's Domestic Abuse and Forced Marriage Helpline, SDA-FMH, is launching a new SMS and WhatsApp service to support those experiencing domestic abuse or forced marriage. The 24/7 service, launched on Tuesday of this week on 07401 288 595, is the first of its kind offering domestic abuse support in Scotland and adds to the helpline existing provision of 24/7 email and web chat support. It has been designed in partnership with survivors, including members of Scottish Women's Aid Survivors Reference Group. The expert team running the helpline hope it will encourage contact from younger people experiencing domestic abuse after research last year discovered that over a third of young women had been in an intimate relationship with someone who was abusive or harmed them physically or emotionally. The new SMS and WhatsApp service was developed after SDA-FMH was awarded a National Lottery Improving Lives community grant to expand and develop its digital communication channels as part of its 24/7 helpline service. It will provide information, advice and support to people of all ages, genders, abilities, sexual orientations, nationalities and backgrounds requiring support around domestic abuse or forced marriage. Services can be provided in English or through a translation facility. The addition of SMS and WhatsApp options will allow people to access information and support quickly and discreetly anywhere at a time that best suits them without the fear of being overheard. Shai Jacobs, Scotland's Domestic Abuse and Forced Marriage Helpline manager said, "We have heard from survivors that safety and discretion was their priority when trying to get support for domestic abuse or forced marriage. There has been a huge enthusiasm for the service, where you can type a message in 10 seconds, pop the phone back in your pocket and check again when it's safe. This will allow people to talk to us during those precious moments of privacy which can often be so rare when experiencing domestic abuse. It is available from October the 3rd on 07401 288 595.
Trad Music Awards. Folk and traditional music fans are being encouraged to have their say on the best in the business, as nominations for the MG Alba Scots Trad Music Awards opened on Monday. Celebrating its 21st edition in 2023, the awards have grown each year to reflect the burgeoning traditional music scene. A true coming-of-age celebration, this year's ceremony offers a chance to reflect on the successes of the past 2 decades. The public have the chance to nominate their musical heroes across a range of categories, from clubs, projects and events, to bands, singers and composers. Nominees will be unveiled on Monday, November the 6th, before voting opens to allow fans to pick their winners, which will be announced at the Caird Hall in Dundee on Saturday, December the 2nd. To make a nomination, visit the Scots Trad Music Awards website.
6-month trial to entice folk back onto our trains. A 6-month trial to introduce cheaper and simpler fares for ScotRail customers began on Monday, October the 2nd. The Scottish Government-funded project, encouraging people to travel by rail instead of car, will allow customers to travel all day on off-peak fares until the end of March 2024. The trial will see massive savings across the country. However, there are some routes where no off-peak fare exists because the same price is available at any time of the day and, as such, customers will not see any change in those areas. Customers can check the ScotRail website or the app to see off-peak fares for their route during the 6-month period at www.scottrail.co.uk/off-peak-fares-all-day-long. One of the most significant impacts of the pandemic was to radically change the commuter market, with a significant drop in the number of people travelling during the traditional peak times. That market is only around 70% of what it was before the pandemic. It is expected that the trial will encourage more people to use ScotRail services, with cheaper fares during the peak periods attracting more people to consider travelling by rail. ScotRail expects that some trains will be busier and will be monitoring services daily. The rail operator will be communicating with customers throughout the trial to provide information so customers can make informed decisions about their journey. The train operator will have additional carriages and services between Edinburgh and Glasgow via Falkirk High. Extra carriages will also be added to services through Glasgow Queen Street low level and Glasgow Central low level, linking Lanarkshire to Dunbartonshire. Alex Hines, Scotland's Railway Managing Director, said, "We want to encourage more people across the country to choose rail travel instead of using the car. Everyone at ScotRail is working hard to make sure that this 6-month trial will be a success, and we will be monitoring our services and stations daily to see where we have any significant increases in customer journeys. Some services may be busier than normal, so customers are advised to plan their journey using the ScotRail website, app, or social media channels." 4th of October 2023. Family announcements. Deaths. Comrie Peter, peacefully in his 94th year at Glasgow Royal Infirmary on September the 26th, 2023. Peter, much loved brother of Jean, the late Martha and Jenny, and a dear uncle and great uncle. Funeral service will take place on Wednesday, October the 11th, 2023 at Daldowie Crematorium at 2:45 p.m. Family flowers only, please. Birthdays. Happy birthday, Alan Neil. Happy 65th birthday to my baby brother. Hope you enjoy a great week. Lots of love, LXX. Happy birthday, Alan Neil. Happy 65th birthday to simply the best uncle in the world. Don't tell anyone, but you're our favourite. Keep dancing. Lots of love from Lynn and Ronnie, Tommy and Sophie. XOXOXOX. Happy birthday, Alan Neil. Happy 65th birthday, Uncle Alan. Enjoy your celebrations. Love, Debbie and Graham.
Sombre reality for folk with dementia. Dementia remains one of the biggest killers in Scotland, leading to 6,277 deaths in 2022, according to a new report published by the Scottish Government. Dementia death rates in Scotland were found to have a similar rate to that of heart disease. In addition, people living in disadvantaged areas are 1.3 times more likely to die from Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia, highlighting the impact of health inequalities on the condition. Dr. Susan Mitchell, Head of Policy at Alzheimer's Research UK, said, "This new report reminds us of the sombre reality we live in, with 6,277 people in Scotland losing their lives to this devastating condition in 2022. But the true number is likely to be even higher, as it's currently estimated that a significantly lower proportion of people with dementia in Scotland ever receive a dementia diagnosis compared to the rest of the UK. This inexcusably leaves so many without a diagnosis and pathway to care, which is heartbreaking for those affected and their loved ones. Sadly, just as is the case across the rest of the UK, these statistics also highlight the impact that health inequalities have on dementia. Those living in disadvantaged areas of Scotland appear to have a 30% higher chance of having dementia as a cause of death compared to those in more affluent regions. This is simply not good enough. To move the dial, governments must double down on their commitment to ensure breakthroughs in diagnosis and treatment reach people who really need them. We also want all political parties to also commit to sustained, bold and ambitious action at the next election. This will be the only way to change the outlook of dementia in Scotland and make strides towards a cure. The 6,277 deaths due to Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia in Scotland in 2022 was a 4% increase compared to 2021. Females accounted for 66% of those deaths. Alzheimer's Research UK is the country's leading dementia research charity. It funds life-changing research, influences government and policymakers, and provides information for people affected by dementia. To find out more, visit the Alzheimer's Research website or call 0300 111 5555. That's 0300 111 5555.
Chance to save lives. From April to June this year, around 1,100 patients in Scotland waited longer than 62 days to start treatment following an urgent suspected cancer referral. Statistics published by Public Health Scotland show that only 73.7% of patients on an urgent referral for a suspicion of cancer started treatment within 62 days. This is well below the 95% target and is the third worst performance since records began in 2012. Cancer Research UK's Public Affairs Manager in Scotland, Dr. Sorcha Hume, said, "It's unacceptable that around 1 in 4 aren't being treated quickly enough. Every cancer target missed is a lost opportunity to save lives. It is essential that waiting times improve in Scotland so people have the best chance of beating cancer." 4th of October 2023. Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald's letters page. Let's talk! Please send your letters via email to kirkyherald@jnscotland.co.uk. Anna Sour expels much hot air over hydrogen. Sir, while I hope Labour win the next election and also return a good result north of the border, I was very disappointed to read that Scottish leader Anna Sour clearly has as little grasp of basic science as most of his fellow people in government throughout the United Kingdom. The concept that he is pushing, that hydrogen will be the number one option for domestic heating in Scotland, shows his complete lack of understanding of the physics of hydrogen and is just classic net zero political soundbite over substance. From experience, I know hydrogen is a gas that's incredibly difficult to produce and also incredibly difficult to handle safely in the petrochemical industries. The concept of having to manufacture a fuel, which they then intend to combust, in what would be an incredibly large scale throughout homes, is inefficient in energy terms, while commercial valuations will show any kind of scale-up would be at a massive cost that would ultimately fall on the consumer. The energy transition is a complex topic, not really suited to politicians, and until all the political leaders stop their point scoring and begin to work together on a collective pragmatic solution, we will continue to go in circles. Yours, etc., Chris Hilton, by email. Crack, crack, crack goes the Lame Duck Alliance. Sir, the SNP/Green Alliance is lurching from one crisis to another. Internal revolts, ridiculous policies and over-the-top taxation. The Rutherglen by-election looms large in the sights. A massive defeat will, in reality, spell the end. Few are campaigning for the SNP in the area, and embarrassingly few are even motivated to march for independence. If there is even one wheel left on the SNP wagon, it is Shugley. The biggest problem Scotland has now is a lame duck administration with well over 2 years in office still to go. It is no longer a matter of independence, as 16 years of SNP rule has never produced anything other than grandiose claims with no substance whatsoever. The problem now is devolution has not worked either. What comes next? Yours, etc., Gerald Edwards. Address supplied. Disgraceful Scottish Cup coverage. Sir, what a disgrace that BBC Saturday Sportscene's so-called Scottish Sports Roundup couldn't, in the internet age, manage to present a single result for the first round proper of the Scottish Cup on their show. When the English FA Cup starts in similar fashion, and the mighty Bishops Stropford face a tricky tie away to Mousehole AFC in the darkest Cornwall, you can rest assured that Sky Sports and all the others will have the changing scoreline from Trungle Park flashed up in real time. Meanwhile, here in Scotland, unless Grandpa Broom can find a working payphone or the right crystal for his wireless, it can be next day before anyone knows what has happened in the oldest trophy of our so-called national game. Doubtless if the old firm are allowed to enter their colt teams in future, our national broadcaster will suddenly find resources to reallocate to the early rounds, rather than pass up a ready-made excuse to drone on about Rangers again, even if in diet form. Yours, etc., Mark Boyle, by email. The Pipers, I'm calling. Sir, I am writing a book on the Pipers of the Black Watch 1725 to 2006. I would like for anyone who has, knew or related to someone who was a piper in the regiment to please make contact. It is very hard now to find information on those who served in the regiment pre-1967, as the documentation just does not exist. There is also the added complication that the vast number of documents do not note the men as being a piper. We are now at the point where there are no surviving pipers from the Second World War, so I must now rely on chance contacts to gain the information. Even the smallest piece of info is valuable, and I may also be able to help with other information I have found. I myself served 20 years in the Black Watch, eventually being appointed Pipe Major, and I am immensely proud of it. Contact the Doothies at hotmail.com. That's THEDUTHIES @hotmail.com. Yours, etc. A.M. Duthie, Luncarty.
Eye on the prize for Scottish pie makers. Scottish Bakers has opened the World Championship Scottish Pie Awards 2023-24 to entries from butchers, bakers and pie makers. The long-running and hotly contested annual search for pie perfection provides entrants with the opportunity to show off their skills and put their prized pies to the test by a host of independent experts who will carefully consider each and every entry before selecting the best and naming one the World Champion Scotch Pie. In addition to Scotch pies, registered food businesses including bakers, butchers and other pie makers are invited to enter products across 10 categories, including Scotch pie, football pies and savouries, macaroni pie, steak pie, sausage roll, hot savoury, vegetarian savoury, haggis savoury, bridie and apple pies. Online entry registration is open until October 31st and products should be delivered to Carnegie Conference Centre, Halbith Road, Dunfermline between 9am and 11am on November 15th. The competition offers proud pie producers across Scotland and further afield the opportunity to be recognised as producing the highest quality savoury products on the market, with awards given to those producing the best products in each category. The winner of the Scotch pie category will be declared World Champion. The competition aims to highlight the humble pie in all its forms and the skill demonstrated in creating such high-quality pastry products. Recognising the great and the good in this way regards the commitment of pie producers and raises the bar in the industry. Leslie Cameron, Chief Executive of Scottish Bakers, which manages the competition, said, "We are delighted to be launching the World Scotch Pie Championships for 2023-24, and it's my first one, so I can't wait. We know there are hundreds of hard-working butchers, bakers and other pie makers who bake perfect pies day in and day out, and now it's time for them to put their products to the ultimate test. We wish all our entrants good luck. Entrants can sign up at the Scotch Pie Awards website. Winners will be announced at an awards lunch on January 16th at the Westerwood Hotel in Cumbernauld."
Tax checks enforced for taxi drivers. Scotland's 29,000 taxi and private hire drivers now need to complete HM revenue and customs tax checks when renewing their operator's licence. The checks, which came into force on Monday, have been introduced to promote tax compliance within the industry and make it fairer for the vast majority of drivers who already pay their taxes correctly. Councils will administer the process in communities across Scotland, which involves making sure drivers have completed their tax checks before their licence applications can be considered. The checks will also be required for those in Scotland renewing their licence to operate a booking office or a scrap metal site, plus those who are metal dealers. Mark Gill, HMRC Director of Individuals and Small Business Compliance, said, "While most taxi drivers in Scotland pay their taxes accurately and on time, we want to level the playing field and tackle the small minority who don't. The hidden economy is estimated to cost the UK government £2 billion in unpaid taxes, which deprives funds for the vital public services we all rely on. By linking tax compliance to licence renewal, the government hopes to discourage participation in the hidden economy and encourage drivers to fulfil their tax obligations. When renewing their licence, drivers will need to use a Government Gateway account to complete the tax check on gov.uk. After answering a few questions, HMRC will provide applicants with a tax check code to be given to the local council before they can proceed with the licence renewal.
Funding film education in our schools. Work to embed film and screen education within the Scottish Schools curriculum has taken a step forward with the launch of new funding from Screen Scotland. Available to early years, primary and secondary schools, the new School Screen Education Fund has been created to support programmes of work with the potential to develop increased understanding of the potential of screen education and support the provision of screen education and the new curriculum in schools. Schools can apply for grants up to £5,000 to test an element of the draft film and screen curriculum with classes from early years to S3 or to design and deliver screen education projects for schools. Screen Scotland has also refreshed its Screen Education Fund, which offers grants of between £500 and £20,000 to projects that support the provision of screen education in a variety of formal, informal and non-formal settings: schools, colleges, universities, cinemas, film festivals, libraries, media access centres and local authorities, aimed at developing increased understanding of the potential of screen education. Fee Milligan-Rennie from Screen Scotland said, "Developing film and screen as an expressive art focuses on enabling pupils to make a film rather than solely study the history or theory of film. This is core to Screen Scotland's work to widen participation in film and screen production, cultivate a skilled screen workforce, and develop the screen professionals needed to carry Scotland's film culture." Full details are available at www.screen.scot/funding-and-support/screen-education-fund. Keep your child safe in sports. Scottish sports clubs and footballing star Paul Stewart are backing the NSPCC's Keeping Your Child Safe in Sport Week campaign, which kicked off on Monday. Judo Scotland, rugby team Glasgow Warriors, Scottish charity Children First, and former professional footballer Paul Stewart, who was abused while he was a youth player, are all supporting this year's campaign. Paul said, "The NSPCC's Keeping Your Child Safe in Sport Week is an incredibly important campaign. Making sure that children are safe when they take part in sport is crucial. I'm proud to be helping raise awareness and to empower parents and carers with the knowledge they need to spot the signs of abuse. Strong safeguarding policies in sports clubs and good parental awareness of them make it much harder for abusers to target children in these environments. That is why it is so important parents and carers know how to access safeguarding information for their child's club and can identify signs of abuse and have the confidence to speak out about issues. We can all work together to make sport a safer place for young people." More than 1 in 4 parents, 28%, who attend their child's sports club said they had seen or experienced inappropriate behaviour, a new NSPCC survey has revealed. This includes shouting insults, intimidating or threatening behaviour, or fights between parents, guardians, carers or children. Some 68% of these parents said they or their child had both felt uncomfortable because of inappropriate behaviour, and almost 1 in 5 parents said no action had been taken to stop it. Sir Peter Wanless, NSPCC CEO, said, "Being your child's biggest supporter can help instill in them a lifelong love for sport and help them build friendships and confidence. Our Keeping Children Safe in Sport Week campaign highlights how important parents and carers are in a child's sporting life. You can make a difference by being involved in supporting your child in their club or activity in a positive way. To find out more about the campaign, visit thecpsu.org.uk/parents. Have your say on countryside crime. Rural policing is an important issue, and the Countryside Alliance is interested in gaining readers' views. The Alliance is seeking the views of those who live, work or regularly visit rural areas in Scotland, with a view to highlighting the true level of rural crime. A spokesperson said, "However tenacious our campaigning is in Holyrood, your help and your voice goes a long way to underpinning our arguments. It should only take a few minutes, and all responses are anonymous. Your participation in our annual Rural Crime Survey 2023 will help us direct our campaigns and ensure we make your voice heard in the corridors of power. The survey will close on Sunday, November the 5th. To find out more and have your say, visit www.countryside-lions.org/resources/news/the-crime-survey. 4th of October, District News, Churches. Springfield Cambridge Church. Morning worship on Sunday, October the 8th, will be conducted by Reverend Ian Taylor, assisted by our probationer, Mrs. Julie Harty, in the sanctuary at 11 a.m. Tea and coffee will be served in the Cabaret Hall after morning worship. Come along and enjoy the fellowship. No collection is taken during the service, so donations can be made by placing them in the offering plates in the Hall of Fellowship as you enter or leave the building. Morning worship is also being live streamed on the Springfield Cambridge Church YouTube channel. A link to this can be found on the Springfield Cambridge Church website, www.springfieldcambridge.org.uk, and Facebook page, where up-to-date information about events and church organisations can also be found. There will be a vestry hour on Wednesday, October the 4th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for anyone who would like to speak with the minister. There will be a short weekly service of worship in the Springfield Chapel on Wednesday, October the 4th from 11:10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m, followed by tea and coffee in the Hall of Fellowship. Cross Street Circle of Care calendar orders are being taken in the Hall of Fellowship on Sunday, October the 8th. Wall calendar £5, appointments calendar £4.50. Cadder Parish Church, beside the canal. For full details, please see our website. We look forward to welcoming you this coming Sunday to our morning service, which is at 10:30 a.m. in Cadder Parish Church. All are welcome. Children meet in the church at 10:30 a.m. and then go to the hall for their activities. Tea and coffee served after the service. Food bank. If you wish to donate to the local food bank, you can bring your donations of food to the church or the coffee shop. Early fellowship meets in the South Hall Chapel at 9:30 a.m. on Thursday for half an hour with the Reverend John McGregor, and also available on Tuesday and Thursday on Zoom. For further details, contact the minister. Chat and play this Saturday in the South Hall, 10 a.m. to noon. All welcome. Games, crafts, messy play, and a chance to meet new people and tea and refreshments. The Guild's next meeting is on Thursday, October the 5th in the South Halls at 7 p.m. Please note change of time. Their speaker is Alex Hall and his subject is the siege and relief of Malta. As always, everyone is welcome. Boys Brigade Coffee Morning, held in the morning of Saturday, October the 7th from 10 a.m. till noon in the Cadder South Halls. Tea and coffee and plenty of home baking. Entry price is £3 per adult and £1.50 per child. 92nd Glasgow Company, the Girls Brigade, Tuesdays, Explorers, P1 to P3, 6:15 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Juniors, Primary 4 to Primary 7, 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Brigaders, S1 to S6, 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. 212th Boys Brigade, Anchor Boys, P1 to 3, Monday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Junior Section, P4 to 6, Monday, 7:15 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Company/Senior Section, Primary 7 to S6, Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Milton of Campsie Parish Church. During the month of October, we will be raising funds to support the work of Refugees, a Glasgow-based charity which strives to ensure that people who have been forced to flee their homes arrive in Scotland to a warm welcome and some of the things that will make them feel more at home. This week, Cafe Connect is open on Tuesday morning. All are welcome to come for a blather, a warm drink and a biscuit or scone. There's toys and snacks for the kids and Wi-Fi, and at no charge, just a donation. On Wednesday, October the 4th at 7:15pm, we meet for a time to pray in the Eric Liddell. Come when you can, leave when you must. Then, at 7:30 in David Livingston, the Guild meets. They will have a talk by David McClements on the Holy Land. New members are welcome to come along. On Friday, October the 6th at 6:15pm, the BB Anchor, P1 to P3, and Junior, P4 to P6, sections are meeting in the church centre. They will be delighted to welcome any new boys. We meet for worship on Sunday, October the 8th, when our service will be led by the Reverend Stuart Matthews. After the service, at 12:45pm, we are taking it further, a chance to discuss the topics covered at church during September. Bring a packed lunch. Baby and Toddlers meets again on Monday, October the 9th at 9:45am, with lots of activities for the children and a chance to chat over a cuppa. Join us for Operation Noah, an eco-group Bible study in 14 Redhill View, Lennoxtown, at 7:30pm on Monday nights, October the 9th, 23rd and 30th. For news updates, daily Bible verses, and to watch our services online, please follow us on Facebook or look on our website, mocpc.org.uk. Home Church, Scotland, Lammermoor Road, Kirkintilloch, G66 2AB. Home Church Kirkintilloch, Home Church East End, Carmyle, G32 8DP, and online. A church for all ages. Let the hearts of those who rejoice seek the Lord. 1 Corinthians 16, verse 10. Sunday, October the 8th, Communion, 9:30am. 10am, prayer meeting, followed by refreshments. 11am to 12:30pm, worship service, children's church and creche, followed by refreshments. A warm welcome awaits you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, Bible studies and discussion groups in person and on Zoom. Wednesday, mothers and babies, 10am to 11:30am. Fridays, craft and coffee, 10am to noon, open to the community. Youth fellowship, 7:30 to 9pm, a varied programme. Home radio available every day. Sunday services at Home Church, East End, Carmyle, 10am and 6:30pm. See Facebook, Instagram and Home Church website for the latest information. St Mary's Parish Church. The service on Sunday, October the 8th, will begin at 11am as usual and will be led by the Reverend Dr. Ruth Morrison. There will be age-appropriate activities for our young people in the church halls during the service. This service is our annual Harvest Festival, when we give thanks for the good things we have received during the year. The service is followed by the Harvest Lunch, for which tickets have already been sold. The lunch will consist of baked potatoes with a variety of fillings, followed by apple pie and cream. The Wednesday welcome continues on Wednesday, October the 4th, when teas, coffee and home baking will be available from 10am to 11:30am. At 11:30am, there will be a short service. On Wednesday, October the 4th, our monthly open doors will take place in the church, and it will be open from 10:30am to 3:30pm. Tea and coffee will be available all day. From 12:15pm to 1pm, there will be a musical recital, when a selection of songs from musicals will be played. There may also be the chance to join in those songs which we know so well from our favourite musicals. St James Church, Hilton Road, Bishopbriggs. Rector Reverend Canon Paul Watson, 0141 230 4080. There is a communion service in the chapel on Thursday, October the 5th at 11 a.m. and on Sunday, October the 8th at 9 a.m. The 10:30 a.m. communion service with hymns on Sunday is in the church. Everyone is welcome to come along to any of these services. Do stay on for tea and coffee and fellowship afterwards. On Tuesday, October the 10th, at 1 p.m, there is a Tuesday club lunch with a talk by the author Mary Edward, who has written various Scottish books, including Who Belongs to Glasgow. Please feel free to come along. £3 donation at the door. You will be most welcome to join us. There are also other virtual services and groups. For more information, please visit Facebook, St James the Less Bishopbriggs, website www.stjamesbishopbriggs.org.uk. Colstonwell Park Church. This Sunday will be the Harvest Thanksgiving service at Colstonwell Park, starting at 11 a.m. and led by Reverend Malcolm Cuthbertson. All proceeds will go to the Lodging House Mission, and all donations of foodstuff etc. will go to the food bank, and, as usual, tea and coffee will be served in the hall after the service. The Art Club will continue this Monday at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m, and new members are invited. If interested, please phone Ramsey on 07709 584 680 for more information. This Wednesday, the Colston Tea Break continues from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m, and if you enjoy good food, good chat and good company, you'll be made very welcome, and it's free. This Friday, the food bank continues its essential work within the community and is open from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And a special thanks to all who continually assist in the running and organisation of this worthwhile work. Kenmure Parish Church. Our Assistant Minister, Reverend Kay Gardner, will lead us in our Sunday morning worship beginning at 11 a.m. All visitors to the area are welcome to attend our Sunday morning worship. Teas and coffees and a time of fellowship follows the end of the service. Our services are live streamed on YouTube. You can find our channel by simply searching for Kenmure Bishopbriggs on YouTube. Details of all of our groups that are currently running may be found on our website kenmure-church.co.uk. To find us on Facebook, just search for Kenmure Parish Church. If you would like to join our WhatsApp group or receive the Bible studies from ABC, then email us at kenmurechurch@icloud.com. That's KENMURECHURCH@ICLOUD.com.
Making Childhood Cancer a Priority by Rona Mackay MSP. The past month has been a very busy one at Parliament and in my constituency. It was a real privilege to host a reception at Holyrood last week in memory of a very special wee boy as part of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Neuroblastoma is a rare and often aggressive cancer, mainly affecting children. I was delighted to help national charity Neuroblastoma UK highlight to fellow MSPs and guests the important research work being done in Scotland to tackle this horrible disease and raise awareness of its effect on children and their families. The event was held in memory of toddler Matthew Innes, who sadly passed away from neuroblastoma in November 2022, aged just 2 years old, and there was a very moving moment during the evening when families affected by the disease lit glow candles and joined together to remember Matthew. You can find out more about the important work of Neuroblastoma UK at the Neuroblastoma website. As part of my constituency work, I was delighted to be invited along with East Dunbartonshire Council leader Gordon Lowe to the 10th anniversary celebrations of a local community group doing vital work to support families in Auchinairn. Gillian Kelly and her team of volunteers at Families of Auchinairn Coming Together, FACT, provide a lifeline for local people with activities for the children, holiday clubs, advice, support and much more, helping to make the community stronger. and what a delicious tea at Auchinairn Community Centre, courtesy of local businesses. It's always fantastic to congratulate constituents on their achievements, and last month, no more so than young BMX race champion Ellie Robertson from Bishopbriggs. She's only 6, but already Ellie has won a string of trophies in the competitive world of BMX racing. I see a bright future ahead for this wee dynamo, along with big brother Jamie, 9, who excels in mountain biking, and I was delighted to put forward a motion in the Scottish Parliament congratulating both on their success. If you need any assistance, please contact my team at 0141 776 1561. That's 0141 776 1561, or email rona.mackay.msp@parliament.com. That's rona.mackay.msp@parliament.com.
4th of October, District News, General. Casper needs some tender care. Casper is an excitable wee ferret who is looking for his forever home. He is currently being cared for by the Scottish SPCA Edinburgh and Lothian's Animal Rescue and Rehoming Centre. He loves nothing better than charging around his cage, running through tunnels and playing with his toys. This boy has boundless energy. Due to his boisterous nature, he does nip when overexcited, so staff at the centre are looking for an experienced owner who can help him get used to being handled. Casper will need a large enclosure with plenty of space so he can burn off some of that energy. If you can give Casper a new home, please apply via the Scottish SPCA website, www.scottishspca.org/rehome-a-pet/12602-Casper. New charity headquarters. Legendary Scottish racing driver Sir Jackie Stewart will open the new headquarters of a Glasgow-based charity later this year. Nicknamed the Flying Scot, Sir Jackie won 3 World Drivers' Championships in an illustrious Formula 1 career lasting 9 seasons until his retirement in 1973. Sir Jackie will be cutting the ribbon of the new Glasgow headquarters of the Molesdale Foundation, a charity established by businessman David Molesdale. Over the last 3 decades, the Molesdale Foundation and companies owned and controlled by founder David Molesdale have supported hundreds of philanthropic endeavours, donating more than £33 million to charitable causes across the globe. Sir Jackie will officially open the headquarters on November the 4th, ahead of a gala dinner raising money for Race Against Dementia, a global charity founded by the Formula 1 champion after his wife Lady Stewart was diagnosed with the condition. Sir Jackie Stewart OBE said, "A career in F1 taught me how scientific innovation can be used to achieve extraordinary breakthroughs, and that's exactly what Race Against Dementia was established to do, reach a breakthrough in the vital search to find a cure for this terrible disease. I am so grateful for David Molesdale's support of Race Against Dementia." David Molesdale said, "I am proud that the Molesdale Foundation will be raising and donating funds for such a vital and worthwhile cause. Sir Jackie's extraordinary drive and determination to prevent and cure this debilitating condition is every bit as inspiring as his achievements on this racetrack, and it's a real privilege to contribute to his charity's vital work. It's a national scandal how far dementia research continues to lag behind other conditions, and only by working together can we beat it once and for all." The facility in Bishopbriggs will not only act as headquarters for the Molesdale Foundation, but the 2,000 capacity events venue will also be made available free of charge to other recognised charities. The Molesdale Foundation will provide the venue, catering, staff and food at no cost, allowing recognised charitable organisations to receive 100% of the income from their events. Charities can also hold their meetings or training events here for free. It is estimated that the new venue could save the charity sector in Scotland over £500,000 per year. Poppy Scotland. Scottish singer backs Poppy appeal. Scotland's best-selling female singer and 2-time Olivier Award-winning actress, Barbara Dickson, OBE, has urged Scots to get behind Poppy Scotland's groundbreaking new plastic-free poppy. On a visit to Lady Haig's poppy factory in Edinburgh, Ms Dixon OBE described this evolution of the poppy as one that touches the heart of the nation, as she urged everyone in Scotland to get behind the new design. As part of society's journey to net zero, Poppy Scotland has reduced the use of plastics by 9% in our wreaths, and in the coming years will transition to the removal of all plastics in wreaths and remembrance wet symbols. www.poppyscotland.org.uk/get-involved/ways-to-give. Local events. If you would like to highlight your group's activities, meetings and any fundraising events, please get in touch. Please send your copy, along with any photographs with full details of the event, venue, dates and times, via email to kirkyherald@gnscotland.co.uk. That's KIRKYHERALD@GNSCOTLAND.co.uk. We will be delighted to hear from you. Sport. Ellie is a BMX champ at 6. A young Bishopbriggs girl is making a name for herself as a BMX race champion at the tender age of just 6 years old. Ellie Robertson is the only Scottish female expert level competitor in her age group and often competes with BMXers twice her age. The West Clayton's primary pupil has won a string of trophies this year, including first place in the Scottish Regional BMX Series 2023 and the North Region Series, England 2023, and third place in round 1 of the British National BMX Series 2023. Strathkelvin and Bearsden MSP Rona Mackay was so impressed she put forward a motion at the Scottish Parliament congratulating Ellie on her outstanding success in the sport, and also commended her big brother, Jamie, for inspiring her to compete. Ms Mackay presented to Ellie, who is a member of Cumbernauld Centurions BMX Race Club, and Jamie, 9, who excels in mountain biking, with the framed motion when she met up with them and their proud mum and dad, Sandy and Dawn, recently. Jamie qualified for Scottish Cycling's Race to the World's 2023 Under-12 Mini DH final in mountain biking, where he came in 6th. Ms Mackay praised Ellie for being a role model to encourage young girls into the sport. She said, "What an achievement at such a young age. Ellie has an amazing future ahead, I am sure, along with big brother Jamie, who is a force to be reckoned with in mountain biking. I would like to congratulate them both on their success, and to their proud mum and dad, Sandy and Dawn, for the devotion and enthusiasm to help Ellie and James succeed." Sandy added, "We're touched that Rona put forward a motion congratulating Ellie on her achievements. It will help promote BMX and encourage other girls to take up the sport." Jamie is also a star in his own right, qualifying for Scottish Cycling's Race to the World's Under-12 Mini DH final at only 9 years old. Speedway. Tigers beat Bears home and away in playoffs. Glasgow Tigers recorded home and away wins against Redcar Bears to put themselves within touching distance of a third grand final in 4 seasons. Tigers kept their league championship push on track with a 55-35 win over Redcar in Ashfield last weekend. Chris Harris top scored with paid 14 against Redcar, and to receive strong backing with double figures from Ben Basso, Vadim Tarasenko and Tom Brennan. They were then due to face Oxford Cheetahs at Ashfield in midweek. However, with heavy rain forecast, and indeed arriving, the fixture was postponed. This meant it would be back-to-back fixtures with the Bears, as the next night Tigers grabbed a vital 51-39 victory at the Echo Arena. The Tigers were rocked after going down 10-12 after 2 races, but Redcar suffered a huge blow in losing guest Justin Sedgman following a big crash in Heat 3. Team boss Cammy Brown said, We made a very slow start, but the boys produced a really gutsy performance to come back. It's a massive win. I can't really fault any of them. Chris Harris, Ben Basso and Vadim Tarasenko were all top class. Tom Brennan was unwell, but still managed to dig deep and pick up vital points. Lee Complin produced a couple of sensational races at a vital time, and Jack Smith did another great job as a guest. Tiger's fate was decided last night, Tuesday, after the Herald went to press, as the Cheetahs came calling in the rearranged fixture. It had been ruled that all player group fixtures be completed by October the 1st, so Tigers had offered to run the restaging on Friday. However, Cheetahs were unable to accommodate this due to rider availability. The match would basically be winner takes all, although Cheetahs has some slight breathing room, as Tigers needed to win by 11 points to set up a meeting with Poole Pirates in the grand final. Tigers could be boosted by the return of injured duo Klaus Vissing and Ace Pichwer for the potential final. Brown said, Klaus is due to get the brace off his knee, but Tuesday's fixture will come too quick for him. If we get there, he might just be fit for the final. There's a possibility Ace could also be fit for the final, and he's been an excellent reserve. Football. City ruthless as they book their place in the next round. Glasgow City were ruthless with an 11-1 win away to St Johnstone to book their place in the third round of the Sky Sports Cup. Corey Sullivan helps herself to 4, while Lisa Forrest hit a double, and there were strikes from Brenna Oliveira, Lauren Davidson, Anna Oscarsson, Kinga Kozak, after an own goal by Laura Steedman that opened the scoring. Sullivan told the club's media team, I'm super excited. We talk about being ruthless and making the most of our opportunities, and I think you got a glimpse of that. I'm happy all the girls are back from international break. We have been working on some technical stuff while they were gone, so I'm glad that came through. It is back to league action tomorrow, Thursday, as City are away to Celtic, and then host Spartans on Sunday. Kirkintilloch Rob Roy lost 5-2 away to Hurlford United in the West of Scotland Premier Division, with Cian Gilday and Mark Smith on target. Rob Roy are away to league leaders Clydebank on Friday. Petershill won 3-1 at home to Drumchapel United in the First Division, with goals from Alexander Castles, Connor Higgins and Peter John McGiff, while Ashfield drew 3-3 at home to Johnstone Borough, with Robert Barr, Jonathan Black and Sean Doherty on the score sheet. Caledonian Locomotive won 2-1 away to Forth Wanderers in the Second Division, with goals from Lewis Guy and Conor McAteer, while Glasgow Pershore drew 2-2 away to Muirkirk Juniors, with Andrew McGilp and William McGowan on target. West Park United lost 3-2 at home to Greenock Juniors in the Third Division, with Miltos Leonis and Ryan Watson on target, while Rossville won 2-1 away to St Peters in the Fourth Division, with Kevin Docherty and Mark Russell getting the goals. It is the second round of the Scottish Junior Cup this week, as Petershill hosts St Cadoc's on Friday, while Ashfield welcome Lars Thistle. Locals are at home to Glasgow United, and Rossville are visited by Darvel the next day. Shire face Muirkirk for a second week running in the league, this time at home, while West Park host Renfrew in the Strathclyde Demolition Cup second round. Rossville women won 11-0 at home to Hutchison Vale to remain top of the championship, and this Sunday welcome Morton.
That concludes this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast. Please remember to subscribe to our channels at Tune Review and to tell your friends about our service.